to this video where I'm gonna speak on the erotic mind and the dirty mind and the taboo fantasies, the taboo things. And this is day 1 of 14 videos, 1 video daily for the next 2 weeks. That's my challenge. So please let me know if there's any specific video you'd like me to make, because I could use the suggestions because I'm doing this challenge and building my muscles. That's what I'm doing too. Alright, so the erotic mind. I'm listening to a book called The Erotic Mind right now. And by the way, I'm driving, so I'm not going to look very much on the screen. The erotic mind was just now speaking about, in the book, they were talking about things that are forbidden, things that are not socially acceptable or appropriate, or even the blockages, if there's any blockages or hindrance towards a connection, that could be a turn on. These things could be a turn on. They could create more arousal, more chemistry, if there's something sort of forbidden about it. And I kind of wonder, why is that? Why is that? Do you have an answer? Like, seriously, why would we be more turned on by something that's forbidden? Are we just like kinky and naughty and stuff? Like, did God just make human to be a very kinky, naughty person? Or is it just me that's like that? But no, I don't think it is. I think a lot of people share this thing where they do feel more turned on and arousal for something that's not allowed, or that is harder to get. So that's why I think a lot of people in marriages or long-term committed relationships can sometimes feel less turned on and arousal for their partner, because it's so familiar and it's so available and it's always just right there, so available all the time. And it's not forbidden, it's actually the thing that's really allowed. And then that can somehow create lack of turn on, which is interesting. And that's where I feel perhaps, like, you know, we want to create turn on in long-term committed relationships as well. So how can one do that? You know, how can I create that sense? And I feel like for me, something that does work, now this might sound really kinky and really inappropriate, but it's actually utilizing fantasy sometimes and role play and things like that when one is relating with one's partner, one's long-term partner. And it takes actually getting kind of creative with it. And also doing new things together. And also choosing to embody different archetypes, different energies. One energy that, yeah, then again, not everybody can. Like, not all men are able to really embody the dark masculine energy, for example. Like, there's a lot of nice guys, kind men that are so sweet. They're kind of like a little lamb, and it's very difficult for them to actually be in their lion energy, in their roar, in their predator energy, when they are more having the energy of a little prey. So, you know, it's we can't ask for everything in one person. But I personally feel that in my relationship, what works to bring turn on and arousal is whenever we go and do new cool things together, when we do really fun, exciting things together, things that include needing to be really present and attuned, things that include like opening up the mind to new ways of thinking and being, and also going on hikes, and just in general, like being really far out in nature with my partner and far away from the phones, from the computers, from the fucking Wi-Fi connection, and actually dropping into real connection. That type of shit can really bring a lot of more turn on and sparks again to my long-term committed relationship that I'm in. And then, you know, I find it to be very, very, very interesting though, how these like very why. Why are we turned on by the things we're turned on by? Does it have to do with some childhood experiences that we had, and then, but like, for example, like some people are really turned on by daddy, the daddy play, the kink of like daddy, you know, daddy. I kind of like daddy. I really like daddy. That kind of turns me on, actually. Like being daddy's good girl, being happy with daddy, just feeling that energy of daddy. That does not mean that I'm attracted to my dad, but it does mean I'm attracted to the qualities of a good father. And especially a father, yeah, because the qualities of a good father is that he is very much in his balanced, healthy, masculine, and that to me, for some reason, is a very fucking turn on. And daddy is not always like super nice. Daddy sometimes says, you know, things that we need to do that are good for us, that he knows is good for us, but that sometimes maybe is a little, you know, edgy or scary. So I'm curious about you. This is going to be an open discussion type of video. Why do you have the turn-ons that you do have that are inappropriate? Like, if you have them, do you even have them? Maybe you don't have them. Maybe you just like the missionary sex with someone really sweet and simple, like a little lamb man. Like, personally, I get a little bit bored and turned off by two nice men, and it's even more cringe and strange when a nice guy hears a woman say that they don't like men that are too nice, and then they try to be more like a bad boy, or like more like a dark masculine archetype, but then they're just doing it all wrong, so it doesn't even work. Because it's not really about what you do, what you say, that it's not about grabbing her, rough handling her. It's about the energy that you embody. Are you in that dominant energy that just you looking at her might make her want to take off her panties? Because the thing is, you can't fake energy. So it's a whole, like, it would probably, for a man to actually go into that energy, it would probably take him facing his own darkness, facing his own shadows, you know, doing things in his life that are actually a little bit difficult, or that are going to support him to grow and expand in really powerful ways, you know. Man that's just wanting to be comfortable and always just wanting pleasure, and just wanting comfort in every way, wanting to get his dick sucked without doing any fucking thing, or without pleasing the woman, wanting just to use a woman for his own pleasure. That kind of man, he doesn't turn me on. But the men that are doing something big, the men that are not big necessarily, but the men that have the courage to go into their own heart and feel all the places inside of them that might seemingly be broken, but that aren't, obviously. But a man that is living in a way that is in service to him and to others and to the world, and creating great things, that is a fucking turn on. And a man that is not afraid to say and speak what he wants. And a man that fucking looks at you and it kind of feels like you want to submit to him because of his energy. I don't know how to cultivate that. If you're a very dominant man, how do you do that? Is it just your nature? Is it just your natural instinct? And what would you suggest for men that don't have that? And maybe not all men should have that either. There are the sweet lambs, the sweet nice guys. Maybe they're just a blessing exactly as they are, and they don't need to change to try to be some dark masculine fucking lion, you know. Maybe there's perfection in every human, no matter how they are. And yeah, that's beautiful. And the truth is, though, that I personally don't find turn on and arousal from a man that's like a lamb. I find more like, oh, you sweet thing, oh, how nice. But it's kind of boring when it comes to like arousal, turn on, and fun stuff in the bedroom. You know what I mean? It doesn't activate my yoni or my pussy at all. And that's okay. It's okay. And especially if a nice guy is trying to fucking be dark masculine because I say things that I like, that is even more cringe. Oh my god, because it doesn't work. Like, you don't just shift it like that. You need to actually go on a journey to find that within yourself, that power, and that groundedness, and that attunement, that attuned presence. That's really what it is. That's a journey of self-discovery. That's not just a matter of flipping a switch. I feel like that's kind of like a mastery level, that attuned presence that the dark masculine has to the feminine. He observes the feminine. He observes how she breathes, how she moves, what she likes. He can smell her wet pussy if he's really listening. And so that's why he's not afraid to give orders, to tell us what to do, because he knows that what he's telling us to do, we want to do. And even no matter what it is, you know. Okay, that's all for today. Leave comments, reflect on me, reflect on this with me. I'd like to know if you have anything that's really like taboo that turns you the fuck on. I'm not sharing everything,